Good morning, and welcome to For Wealthy Work Podcast Show. We are here at Streetside Classics, Caffeine, Classic, and Community. Hey guys, we want to just thank y'all for staying tuned to us. Y'all know we've been working around, starting our podcast, and we have our very first guest today.
Man.
I'm going to introduce you to Mr. Felton Jenkins here.
Good morning, good morning, good morning.
Thank you for coming out, brother. I appreciate
brother.
it. You know what I mean? We want to thank Streetside Classic for having us, one of our sponsors. Y'all know that we do our car shows here every fall, every spring. Stay tuned to that 2024. And let's get with Mr. Jenkins real quick. Mr. Jenkins, I just want to thank you from the beginning, from what you're doing out here in the community. TFT, we have a youth program, and we fell in together and with the York program.
Yes, sir.
Mentoring these kids that's getting out the reentry, getting back out here in society. And but I know you've been doing it out here much longer than I have.
Oh man.
Tell me about it. Give me a little something.
Man, 16 years and it's great, like you said, Fort Wealthy work.
Yes,
I want to thank the Classic Car Show Combine as well. 16 years in the streets. Little bit about my testimony, former gang member. That's why I have a compassion for this work. It's not even working. I am a grateful servant to these youth at all ages.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Ages from 5 to all the way up to the age of 24.
Right.
And the impact that I give them is the knowledge to stay away from gangs.
Okay.
From drugs.
Okay.
From getting incarcerated or coming home from being incarcerated. How can they survive? How can they make it?
Right.
My number one rule, don't go back around the same environment.
Okay.
Pick you a new group to hang around with. Get around some positive leaders and positive mentors.
Okay.
That will guide you and strengthen you on your way. It's not going to be easy in the beginning.
Right.
But you're going to need somebody that's going to be positive in your life and impact your life on all levels of life.
Exactly.
And I always keep it real with you, so that's where I come in.
Okay. So we know what you've been doing for about 16, 15, 20 years. So when did it hit you? How did it hit you saying, you know what, I've done what I've done, now it's time to pull back? What was that moment?
That moment was, let me be honest, because I'm honest, because I want this to reach the youth. I want this to reach the parents. I want this to reach our community. Mm-hmm. In 2008, a young person got killed. And to make a long story short, 3 days later, the gang unit was at my door with a murder warrant.
Okay.
So I was at the place, but I did not commit the murder.
Right.
So that point right there, I spent 3 years of my life fighting a life sentence for a crime I did not commit.
Guilty by association, just being wrong place, right?
Wrong place. But let me tell you something.
Okay.
It's in my book. I was at the right place at the right time because I was still gang banging.
I see you.
So this is the testimony that helps somebody. I thank God that I was at that wrong place at the wrong time. Even though I didn't commit the crime, the 3 years I did, that's what changed my life.
Got you right here.
Got me right here.
God used that time. I'm imagining, I'm assuming, your thoughts, your manner, all this got changed.
Yes.
Because it wouldn't have happened if you were still out here.
I would have been dead.
And now look at all the kids that you're impacting. Okay, so now we got those 3 years over with. You come out here to the community. What was your first step?
My first step to find a home church.
Okay.
So I knew one of my closest friends when we was in elementary school. He had a church.
Okay.
And at that time, I was dating his sister. So she like, come on, go to church with me. So I went to church.
Okay.
So 6 months in the church, he say, man, God already called you to preach.
Oh,
so
man.
I'm going to give you your license in 6 months. He say, knowing that everybody else wait 3 or 4 years, he say, no, it's already in you and over you. So I got licensed within them 6 months, but I knew it's already ordained by God.
Right on.
And so from there, I just went forward.
Okay. Outstanding. So I'm looking at those 10 years going by, you're doing work. Mm-hmm. How many kids you think you have impacted in this time in your journey right now?
To be frankly honest with you, from elementary school, from the streets, it's up there. It's up in the hundreds.
I can imagine.
It's up in the hundreds. From being part of car clubs and social clubs right here in the city of Fort Worth, going out reaching to the homeless, going out to visiting some of the kids' homes. I'm actually like their probation officer. I'm knocking on their doors and sitting on couches with the parents and the kids and praying. So it's in the hundreds.
Exactly. So you get the kids, and now I know the kids. I'm working with the Europe. I work with the juvenile service, and we work out here in the community together. But for the people who don't know,
Okay.
when you get these kids, what do you see that they need the most?
What I see they need the most, I believe that people need to listen to them without judgment.
Okay. Okay.
Because most of these kids dealing with a mental health issue because of some of the things their parents went through, or they probably lost a loved one or a brother through gang violence.
Right.
So when I see it, they crying out, and they need somebody to listen to them so they can relate to what they're going through,
Exactly.
and give them the right help they need. So when I sit down with these kids, I don't care if they cussing, I don't care if their pants hanging down.
Right.
I just want to hear them because it's something in the inside
That they're trying to let out.
they're trying to let out. But sometimes as adults we can shut them down because how they act, that's the way they are expressing themselves.
Right on.
You got to get to know that baby mentally in order to pour into them, because if you don't listen to them, you're pushing them away.
Right. Is that something what they call you're meeting the youth where they at?
There we go.
You meeting the youth where they at.
Yes.
And so I had the privilege of going to see you work. Morningside Middle last week. No, the week before last.
Yes,
I was
sir.
a little ill, and I apologize for my voice, y'all. That little bug got me this week, and so the week before last, I got to go see you. It was a Wednesday morning. I saw your young men in there, and I saw how attentive they were. They was wanting to learn.
Yes.
They was taking what you was giving, and that's why I was like, that's who I want to see. That's who I want to mimic. I want to learn from you at the same time as collaborate, as partnering with
Yes.
you. And so I appreciate that. But I want to dial into, you mentioned earlier about your book.
Oh man.
What motivated this? What motivated the book?
The motivated the book is from the same level from the jail stint. To come home to tell my story. Tell my true story, how the gangs of Fort Worth got started. Tell my story about what I went through from being in a foster home, for seeing my mom hooked on drugs, for seeing my stepdaddy beat her, and it led me to do bad things. I never wanted to be a drug dealer. I never wanted to be in a gang. I wanted to be a police officer.
Man, outstanding. Wow.
But my dreams got crushed because of the issues that my mom had to go through. And the foster homes and stuff like this. So I really want to tell my story that a man with 20 kids, I don't mind telling people, a man with 20 kids, 20 grandkids, 3 felonies on his background, but still out here to be an impact in his community, married, now living his best life, living his dreams, that no matter what your failure was, how many times you got in trouble, no matter how many times you went to jail or prison, that don't define you.
Exactly.
That don't define you. And when you change your mindset, when you surround yourself with people that want to help you and motivate you and get you to the next level.
Yes, sir.
And meet you where you are as an adult, you can get there. Your past don't define you.
No, sir.
And so I put that in my book to let people know, 20 kids, been in jail, been in prison, lost it all, but I'm still standing.
God's not done with you yet.
Woo.
He's not done with you yet. And so I'm gonna let you know, I got the book last week. I was a little under weather. I did not get to read it.
Okay.
But I know Wednesday where you're gonna be at.
Yes.
And I'm coming with my pen. I want an autograph this time.
Come on, then.
I want an autograph. So, hey, you mentioned the gangs. You mentioned and starting that. We know now that normally back when we grew up, the gangs was, high school, a little older, 19, 20. But now they starting to reach these babies in middle school and elementary school.
Yeah, they have different games now. It's so many different names and different games that, man, it just blow your mind. Like you said, you got babies, 12 and 13-year-olds. And back in our day, an 18-year-old can be an OG. No.
You see what I'm saying?
So we got little kids calling these 18-year-olds, 17-year-olds OGs, and they're not OGs.
Right.
But what happened is, it's part of my fault. See, I'm not going to point the finger, and it's part of my fault because when they was younger, they looked up to us.
Right.
So when we started going to jail and going to prison and, you know what I'm saying, changing our life around, we forgot the ones that we left behind.
Exactly.
So now it's my responsibility as that former OG to go back into my community, not outside of my community, but go in the heart of my community and grab them babies and say, no, you don't have to go that route.
Exactly.
That's my mission.
Well, you know what? You're definitely doing it, and like I say, I want to come alongside of you and help in any kind of way that we can. And so when it comes to what I've learned is that with the gangs out here and these kids, and like you mentioned with your past, it's a trauma that we have, and it's not dealt with.
It's not dealt with at all.
You know, and so when it's not dealt with, it's going to hinder us, and it's going to also play a role in our life later.
That's it.
You know, and so I'm thinking what you're doing is getting these kids to see the issues, dealing with it right now, so they can be better men, boys to men, as your organization, Boys to Men. You see what I'm saying? And that's what we all need to do. Now, tell me, how can people get your book, for one thing? Where's your book at?
I have copies of my book. You can reach me at 817-448-7279. I don't mind meeting you. I don't mind signing it. I don't mind we doing interviews. Whatever to impact our youth. And with that book, I want to get that book in your hand. Okay. That book will push you. That book will motivate you. There's some deep things in that book that God told me to share, so I had to share it, because change is here. And like people say, don't judge a book by its cover. Just read the book.
Just read the book. Just read the book. We're going to have to get that book on our website.
Yes, sir.
So we can get that started rolling and whatnot. And so with what you're doing on Morningside and what we're doing out in the community, we need volunteers.
Yes.
You know, we both need volunteers. We need men and young women to step up. Tell me, how do you get people from the barber shops, the beauty shops, the car washes, the clubs? They see the need. How do we go to them and tell them, hey, it's time to change all this? What do we do?
One change is I deal with a lot of, like I said, a lot of car clubs and social clubs right here in Fort Worth. And what we do, we have events at the park.
Okay.
And we call out the community. We'll feed the community. We'll have a live DJ. Every Easter, we have an Easter egg hunt for all the kids.
Okay. Okay.
For all communities, it don't matter. Christmas, we have big old Christmas giveaways at different locations. Okay. That we invite all the families out, and we get them information. We fill out information sheets. Okay. And tell them what is the need.
We want to hit that need.
We want to hit that need. Yes. How can we impact that need? Right, what can we do and come together and meet that need of your family and other families? Right. So we try to get everybody combined together with them resources. Like one barbershop on the south side, she has an open door policy, and her name is Erica. Okay. She's right directly across the street from the church and Morningside Middle School. Okay. So that's a sub house. So this year, what I'm gonna implement, I ain't done in a while, is starch for a fresh start. Okay. So I take my clothes, I put them in the cleaners, clean up my shoes, and I donate it to a barbershop. So any of the youth or anybody need a fresh start could come in there and get an outfit and a pair of shoes. And that will impact your community as well.
Just something like that. They might have a job interview they're trying to get to, anything like that, you know.
And then
internship, you know.
Then I asked Miss Erica, anybody, can I give you at least $100, $150 at least cut 5 or 6 heads to make sure they be groomed.
Oh man, you gotta let us be a part of this.
Come on, man.
We gotta be a part of this.
We partners.
Okay, we
partners.
We're definitely gonna do that. You know, it's 2024. You gotta do more in 24. That's what they saying.
Yes.
You know, and so tell me how we met both through the York program. You know, the reentry program. How's that going? How's that going with you and your mentee?
Man, it's amazing because before the York program, I'm part of Youth Build.
Okay.
Youth Build is like you might well say, it's all combined together. So my job at Youth Build to recruit.
Okay.
Recruit young men and young women from the ages of 16 to 24 to get their GED in a trade of choice. So far, I done got over like 26 students.
Oh man.
Less than 4 months.
Man, you doing it.
Less than 4 months, and already 5 got jobs. About 3 of them already got their GED. And now the other ones is entering to the trade of choice. So that's the blessing part of this, of York and Youth Build and CLC all together. Okay. My mentee is Matthew. Everybody know Matthew. He's hyper. He's full of energy. Right. And just the little time that I didn't impact his life, and he didn't impact my life. Right. You know what I'm saying? He's going to work on time. He's staying in his Christian program. He's staying in the Christian program home. He's staying in there. He have his ups and downs like a normal team. But I can see the change in them as well.
Outstanding.
Yes.
Outstanding. Well, Mr. Jenkins, man, I appreciate you coming on. We will be collaborating
Yes, sir.
this year, and whatever we can do here at TFT to help out, we're going to be there.
Man,
well, I'm
thank
going to
you.
see you this Wednesday.
Yes, sir.
We're going to be in there with the kids Wednesday morning. And hey, guys, once again, I want to thank Streetside Classic for this interview, for being here for Classic, excuse me, Caffeine Classic and Community. We thank y'all for viewing. Stay tuned for some more interviews today. We're gonna go out and check out some cars, showcase some nice ones out there they got shining up right now. And so, I didn't get to tell you. I asked you your favorite car. We done seen hundreds of cars out here.
Well, really, my favorite car is a Mustang. I gotta be honest. That's my favorite car. It's a Mustang.
Classic Mustang. Okay,
Yes, sir. It's a Mustang.
Well, we're gonna definitely start bringing them out. I know you're part of a lot of good car community.
Yes.
In Fort Worth, and so we'll start collaborating those things. Again, Mr. Felton.
Thank you, brother.
Thank y'all. Thank you.
Thank you.
And we'll see y'all next time.
Caffeine Classics and Community Podcast. I'm here with our newest TFT member, Mike. Now, Mike, thank you for joining me this morning. It's a beautiful morning, even though it's kind of rainy, and we have donuts, we have coffee. And so what brings you here today to TFT?
Thank you for having me, first of all. Bringing me here to TFT started way back when. I was young. I met back up with some friends after about 30 years. We hadn't seen each other, and I had already had plans for starting a nonprofit. My wife and I, we have a business of crocheting different items, clothing and toys and such. And every year, my wife takes all of her leftover yarn and crochets hats and makes beanies, and then we take all of those beanies down to the Arlington shelter, and then we give them away to the homeless.
That's awesome.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so they know us as the hat people. So when we go there, they just say, hat people. And so, anyways, my wife and I were already discussing something like TFT has going now. And after about 30 years, I got a call from some of my friends, Broderick, had invited me over to meet up with the old gang. And we had a barbecue, it was a good time, and while we were there, Broderick was talking about TFT, and I was like, wow. So we shared our thoughts back and forth about it, and it was kind of amazing that he was already doing something that we were already talking about doing, and it really worked out. So it was actually very easy to walk into TFT because it was exactly what we were wanting, and I have some skill sets to offer that TFT at the time didn't really have, and that is teaching information technology to youth and people that can't really afford to go to college and pay for all that extra training, right? So we can train them through this program, give them a very good high-level view of what it's like, to work industry in information technology, and then they can, choose a path from there without having to waste a bunch of money. So we're giving back to the community, which is what we want to do outside of helping with clothing, and then I reap the benefits of it personally, because there's a lot of self-fulfillment and gratification, in helping out the community, and it's always better to give than to receive.
Absolutely.
So that's what brings me here today.
That's awesome, man. That's what we're all about here at TFT. We're just a bunch of people with certain skill sets, and that we just want to pass on to those that maybe didn't know anything about it. One being, automotive, and here we are in Streetside Classics, and we want to get kids interested in the automotive industry by looking at some of these beautiful cars that we have going on. So, so what do you see for the future? I know you're working on some curriculum. What does that look like, and how can the people watching have access to that?
Okay, so so the way to gain access to the curriculum would be to contact TFT, go through the web portal or tftcommunity.org and reach out, through the links in there. And the training is free for everyone. The training that I'm aware of specifically is the automotive program that we currently have and the information technology class. So right now they're 2 classes. Down the road, hopefully, we can break them out into a little bit more. But we teach them everything from the automotive. We teach brake suspension, oil changes, piston spark plugs, nitrous oxide boost, high level stuff. So they can get in, look at a car, have a good idea of it, know what it's like to be a mechanic, and have a decent understanding of the tools that they use and some of the safety precautions they need to take. And that's really, I want to point out, we teach safety. You get teaching in school, but even going out to on the job, you need to learn about not just the material, but things to be aware of around you. So they get a lot of that real life training with us.
And I've heard you talk about a certain car, a certain classic that you've kind of grown up with. What was that?
1968 Javelin, American Motors. Yeah, that was the hot rod back when we were young, and it was a nice car. It was in the family for a long time. We no longer have it, but yeah, you can look at a 1968 Javelin or AMX. They're pretty close to the same.
Nice.
Yep.
Yeah, and so right now your career is in IT, and that's why, and what kind of interested in bringing you into TFT so you can do that curriculum, because also, the automotive is a great way to go down, but also the IT career path. And TFT also has several other programs that you can kind of sample into kind of what you want to do with your career. And well, Mike, thank you for coming on and talking about why you're joining TFT and the future that you see for TFT. And we are here. This is TFT at Streetside Classics, signing off.
Thank you.
And he is one of our new members of the TFT organization. Again, we're here at Streetside Classics. We're surrounded by classic cars. And so Glenn, tell me, you're our Veterans Affairs Coordinator. Tell me a little bit about your background.
Okay, well, as you can see from my hat, Navy veteran, from way back when, 74 to 78. Tactical electronic warfare planes, but I was a pencil pusher. 3 cruises, 1 Mediterranean, 2 Westpac. Got out, kids, family. Now I have grandkids and great-grandchildren. As for veterans, a member of American Legion post here in Fort Worth. Was general member for a couple of years, the first vice commander for a couple of years, and then the post commander for 5 years. So kind of my part in where I care about the veterans. I've seen some that have had their struggles, been able to help them a little bit and want to further that on. I learned about TFT because I know the CEO since he was a young lad. In fact, one of probably the first people I met when we moved from Washington State down to Fort Worth, Texas. So I've heard about it. I've talked to him about it since he started conceiving it. Recently retired, and once he found out that, he was all over me. So
yeah.
I finally said, okay, I need a little something to do. And so it's another opportunity, one, to help TFT start working with the American Legion posts, and maybe from that point expand out.
Yeah. Well, first I want to say thank you for your service. That is amazing. And you've given us that communication, that connection with the veterans, and because here at TFT we have programs where we help veterans, and of course Glenn will be adding that up. And so you were just an amazing resource that he brought on to TFT. And so what are some of the things? So you say, board communications with the veterans. So what do you see TFT doing forward to better enhance that?
I think it's something you need to take in steps. So I think, of course, the easy step to start with, and quite a broad step, is to start working with the American Legion posts in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Now I know it's District 12 for Fort Worth, Benbrook, South Lake, so forth in that area. I also know, a couple of the posts down in Mansfield, and there's one a little further, and for the life of me I can't remember the name of the city at this point. So it's an easy in, and then trying to see what we can do, maybe host something for the veterans, move from post to post to post. But then we've also got, in the future, as things pick up, the Veterans of Foreign Wars, the VFW, and then the DAV, Department of Disabled American Veterans.
Right.
So there's a lot of places to go, but let's start my thought was start where we can get a decent footing and move, and maybe bring in some more resources, because though I've had quite a few years of experience, there's some out there that just know some stuff inside and out and how to help veterans.
Right. So what would you say would be so say if we were going to plan an event, what kind of events do veterans really appreciate? Because we went down to Patriot House and they said they just loved a fresh cooked burger. And so what would you say, maybe something beyond maybe a fresh cooked burger, but what kind of event?
It's hard to say. Each area, each post is a little bit different. But one, I think so often a lot of our veterans, they're not acknowledged for what they've done, be it my age, older, or the younger ones. Again, mine was simple. I was one of the lucky ones. When I was in, it was fairly calm. There was nothing going on. But before that was Vietnam, after that Desert Storm, all the other activities. Acknowledgement, appreciation, maybe to help the posts grow. The burgers are nice, they like that. It just, again, you kind of got to get the feel from talking to the commanders and some of the members at the post what they would like.
Yeah. So TFT mission to recognize veterans, but I also challenge people watching, please, recognize our veterans and the sacrifices they made for, everything we can enjoy in this beautiful country. Now, do you have any closing remarks? Do you have a favorite car you've seen around here, or maybe one personally?
Yeah. I have been wandering around here just drooling, thinking about my high school days. Yes, I'm an old critter. The one that would love to drive away with, but it's not going to happen, is there's a midnight blue 56 Chevy. It's just, that's just one of them. There's just a load of beautiful cars down here. There are a couple trucks I wanted, but the older ones, a little too tall to be sitting in seats that don't scoot back. But there's just beautiful cars everywhere. The Alfa Romero, the older 60 Corvette, older Force 1932 Woody, I think I saw out there. It just goes on and on and on.
Yeah. Wow. And what car did you have growing up?
Well, I had a couple.
Yeah.
High school, nothing remarkable, which is a good thing. But I've owned a 1956 Ford pickup, 4-speed. It had the portal curved windshields in the back. Had to sell that one. We moved. And then one of my second favorite one was a 1971. I just went blank.
Yeah.
I can't believe I just forgot.
Yeah, my high school truck was a 1992 single cab GMC Sierra. And I thought that was a classic, but hearing some of you guys talk about cars.
Oh, I just got it. Yeah, mine was a 1971 Gran Torino with
Gran Torino.
351 Cleveland, tires about this wide around, and it was great.
Wow.
It was great.
Nice. Well, that was Caffeine Classics and Community. Come on down to Streetside Classics. We do this every fourth Saturday of the month. We have donuts, we have coffee, and we are surrounded by classic cars. And so thank you for watching, and we're signing off.